But the point that you raised, Joe, about this Senate leaker. First of all, you're right. This guy should be ashamed of himself. I hope they throw the book at this guy and he's publicly flogged.
Yeah,
but you look at the other end of that leaker, Joe. Who was he leaking to? Okay, he was leaking to this young superstar reporter. People are asking, how did she keep getting these scoops? How did she become such
yes,
at
from the New York
25 years
Times.
old, go from BuzzFeed to Politico to the New York Times? How did she have this meteoric rise and keep breaking all these stories? Well, it turns out she was sleeping with this top-level Senate staffer.
Wait a minute.
Well, and then you think to yourself, okay, so, however you get a scoop, you get a scoop. All right, that's the nature of relationships. Wouldn't it behoove her to inform her editors about this? And it turns out she did. She told her editors at BuzzFeed that she had a relationship with this leaking staffer.
James Wolfe, is that the guy I'm talking about? Yeah.
So
57 years old. How old was she, just to be gossipy?
She's in her 20s. So this guy,
How does someone do that?
BuzzFeed, Joe, knew. No, this is an important point. Because Michael Goodwin had a great column about this on Sunday. Well, not about this exactly, but alluding to this. But so BuzzFeed knew that this story was a byproduct of a reporter sleeping with a source. And they did not disclose on any of their articles about this that was the case. They owed it to the public to say, by the way, a source sleeping with a BuzzFeed reporter should have said. They said nothing. And yet, when they got this data the other day, the first thing BuzzFeed did was say, this is an unprecedented attack on press freedom, on our sources. Give me a break. BuzzFeed ought to be ashamed of themselves. And I think both Politico and the New York Times owe it to the public. They're big on public disclosure and publishing leaked documents. Those entities owe it to the public to tell us, did they know that their reporter was sleeping with the source?
We don't know that. Of course they know.
Well, so you have to think, if she told BuzzFeed,
She's still working, this girl?
I believe she's still at the Times.
She's still working.
So if she told BuzzFeed, you have to think that she told both Politico and the New York Times as well. We want answers. What did these newspapers know, and when did they know it? BuzzFeed, they knew. They chose to deceive the public. Politico and the New York Times, did they know these scoops were the result of a reporter sleeping with a leaking source?
Frankie, 5 boroughs, speaking the truth. Bingo, man. You know what I'd like to do, Frank? I want to go to one more phone call before I go to Al. I want to take your little commentaries, if I may, and you say, those promos they play throughout the day? On Piscopo this morning. And then you did a riff earlier, and then this rant and riff, you and I going back and forth. Isn't that a little promo thing?
I love that. We could certainly do it online.
I want them to play them on other shows for like 2 minutes. 2 minutes, like the promos we have to play.
That's the problem. You make a point right away, like whether it's a joke or whether it's a substantive point. It's always quick.
Boom.
Kick him the hell out, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It takes me a while to kind of ramp up. And so that's not. Right. I think it's good radio, but it's not necessarily conducive.
Story you told the other day about how you snuck out of the conference room and went on. For
it's still not over.
It's not necessarily conducive to promos. The other thing is, really, everyone knows who you are, but not a lot of people. No one knows who I am. So, like, if you hear Joe Piscopo in the morning.
Excuse me, my buddy Dave Damiani, who I go out with on the road, great singer that he is, working today. He's doing something with a big, I think, Promark in Manhattan singing, and he goes, "Hey, I saw Frankie on that Gotti documentary.
Well,
you're getting such airtime on that."
So that documentary, I just learned yesterday, 1.2 million viewers each night.
On Arts and Entertainment on A&E?
Those numbers, that's almost
network numbers.
That's what Fox does in prime time when they used to have O'Reilly on. Kudos to Richard Stratton, the producer of that.
By the way, thank you for the mention at the Talkers Conference.
Yeah.
Because a friend of mine said, hey, Joe gave a great speech. And I actually mentioned your name, and I said, and you and 3 other people knew who I was. I thank you for that. That was very nice.
Frank got applause there, and then you and Debbie got applause
crickets.
Too. Richard in Queens, real quick, we got to go to a break, 9:34. What's on your mind this morning, Richard?
Hey, Joe, thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
A couple points I want to make real quick. Maybe they can use some Durasan to wash out Robert De Niro's mouth. And the other thing is maybe next year's Tonys, they can fog wherever the Tonys are and fog out all those people that are so upset that Donald Trump has done more in 500 days than Barack Obama did in 8 years.
Yeah. You know what, Richard? I hear you loud and clear. And again, I cannot tell you. When I saw Bobby De Niro, long story short, and again, to your point, Frank, we'll make it quick, but I met De Niro. I did a piece, kind of a tribute to he and to Marty Scorsese, one of my HBO specials. And we all had the same representation at the time. And I did a little piece of Raging De Niro, it's called, Rocco Orbisi actually produced it, did a great job, and shot it. And we did it on film. So, and then De Niro goes, how do you do me? How do you do it? Kept asking, how do you do me? I go, the way you do other people, I'm doing you. And he couldn't have been more pleasant or supportive. And I hate to see a hero, and De Niro's a hero to a lot of us, to go to that depths, and just for no reason, arbitrarily, and then for the audience to applaud. And it came from New York. It's our neighborhood. It just looks so bad. That, what De Niro did, mark my words, will get the president elected in 2020.
Well, Joe, I don't think that
they're going to get him elected again.
Because you know what? People in Ohio, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Virginia, Michigan see when they see that. They see Hollywood elitists that think they know better than regular people.
And just the brilliance of De Niro.
You're exactly right.
The depth, to go to that depths. And what we use in the street language, that's one thing. But on the air, you have to couch it. You have kids watching. And something is brilliant. The most brilliant performers of all are on The Great White Way, are on Broadway. Every one of those folks at the Tonys, those are the most brilliant performers in any medium in entertainment. He just took it to the street, man. It wasn't the right thing to do.
And look, I love Robert De Niro's work. He's one of my favorite actors.
We do.
And I love what he does for
him,
Tribeca and the Tribeca Film Festival.
What he's done for New York, you're
wonderful.
right.
I think he's a great guy. I think he is out of control with this Trump stuff. And you know what the problem is, Joe, is it's fine to disagree with the president. I disagree with the president all the time, and I say so, very open about it.
Yes, you do.
But, I voted for the president, and when I see people attacking Donald Trump, not because they disagree with him, but attacking him personally, it's an attack on us, because it's an attack on those of us that voted for him, and it's saying we're either dumb or racist or sexist.
And it
makes us dig in more.
That's exactly right.
Even when Trump is out of line, you feel an obligation to defend the guy, because they're not attacking his ideas or his proposals or his policies. They're attacking him personally and the people that chose to vote for him.
And that's why he tweets out to answer that. And you know what? I don't hear a platform or an initiative or an iota of an idea from the progressive socialists. And then when the president steps up and he does what he does at G7,
look, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, they definitely fit into that socialist category. They offer plenty of ideas.
Free everything. Really.
So let's talk about their ideas rather than just have Robert De Niro make pot shots at the president.
Yeah, it's exactly right. So you speak the truth, Frankie. 877-970-2999, and especially in these epic historical times and what we experienced over the last 24, 36, 48 hours in Singapore, let's just embrace this great country and just hope for peace. Piscopo in the morning, 9:38. Big Al.